Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm glad I was able to get on. I tried to call you to say follow the directions, but I just found it. God bless you. Thank you.
No, not a problem. Yeah, I'm running a little behind.
No problem.
I had to go grab some more water.
You're awesome. Wonderful. Thank you.
So I'd like to share the good news with you. Have you talked to Ron yesterday or today?
Yes, I had. Ron and Linda. Yeah, absolutely.
Did they tell you that your show is the most popular on our platform?
No, they didn't, but I'm happy to hear that.
You have surpassed Travel Tuesday.
Well, whenever we do something, we try to do our very best, as we should, right?
All excited for the cruise coming up?
Do you introduce me or do I start off?
Yep, I'll introduce you in 1 second.
Take your time.
So, wonder where Ron is today. He must be on the phone getting stuff ready. So, this is Friday's show. Friday mornings is all about a remarkable man, a man who has received so many different accolades, commendations, awards, but yet is still a genuine, down to earth, humble individual. He is the first Top Gun. He created the Malamar Naval Academy. And his lifelong mission is to spread kindness and hope throughout the world. He has also got one of the oldest non for profits still in existence today, who,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my wife's attention to give me a pen so I can write down whatever you give me. She's
there we go. I figured out how I can mute Ron now. With the simple goal of being able to help impact the world and communities and transform them from struggling to improving and give resources all just to make the world a better place. Join us and welcome Captain Len Kaine. Good morning, sir.
Good morning and happy day to everybody who's listening. And the first thing I'd like to say to you, we're happy to have you on board because this is a way to help make it a better world for you, starting with you and yours, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, and your charity. And 52 years ago, I founded a charity called the Golden Rule Society, and it's serving the world where most everything is free and many things are better than free. And our goal, very simple for all these many years, more than like say 53 years, is to help make it a better world. It's as simple as that. We don't get paid, and any donations that we reach are shared with the needy. And here's our newest entertainment program, just to get you teased and enthused. Something I put together, it's called 198 Super Things to Think, Say, and Do. Everything and fun. I can give you one for today. Very simple. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Now, that's a simple thing, but that's why we're here to help you be more successful in your life. And that's why we've been doing it for all these many years. And I would suggest that straight away, before we go very much farther, get yourself a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, because I'm going to give you information on how to be even more successful, happy, and just enjoyable, which we've been doing for all these many years for everybody. And everybody that has been involved in the Golden Rule Society charity is very pleased. We don't get any complaints because what you're saying makes sense and it benefits everybody, starting with you, your own self. And it goes on and on. But the nice part about it, you have your piece of paper, a pen, and I want you to get that this is the gift that starts off for you. It is it's our Golden Rule Society's website. And when you go to our website, you'll find that most everything there is free, except some things are better than free. And there's a lot of stories that go on, and you're going to say, this is really something to be a part of. And again, we're not selling anything. We are offering the opportunities to be more successful. So there you go. And here it is. And most of us, you know how it goes. It's www.Golden Rule Society. And Golden Rule Society, all one word, no spaces. Golden Rule Society.org, the letter O-R-G. It simply means we're a charity nationwide and worldwide. And that's what's going on. So many things to talk about, but I'm going to tell you one organization that it's so proud to be involved in it. And when you get there, you can find, and you'll see it when you're on the site, many things, but look for it, and it's called Intiva Health, INTIVA Health. Now, years ago, when I was a Navy fighter pilot, I was in combat over Vietnam, helping to make it a better world and a freer world against the bad guys. And I'm up at altitude in a fighter pilot, up there. But who's on the ground? The Marines. Now, you can't see them. You don't know who they are, what they are, but anyway. But years later, when I founded the Golden Rule Society charity after I retired from the Navy, one of the gentlemen that became one of our senior advisors, his name is Jim Kyle, wonderful man, retired Marine, but he was also became an attorney and just wonderful personality. And he and I, we met, we talked, and I invited him to be one of our senior advisors. We have over a dozen of them, and they're all successful people in business and in the world. And what we do, and I said, look, we were all non-paid. When any one of them does something extra special, I tell them I'm going to double their salary, and they tell me immediately that 2 times nothing is still nothing. All in good fun. But Mr. Jim Kyle said to me one day on the telephone, he says, Len, because I'm in California, and he told me, he says, Len, you got to get down to Texas to meet Alexander Candelario. Okay, I didn't know who he was, but I went down there, and he was a retired Marine. He was medically retired. He was going to college. So I said, well, this is interesting. When I met him, spent about 3 hours with him. And I said, Jim Kyle asked me to come and visit with you and see what you're doing. Well, it didn't take very long for me to find out this guy is technology-wise brilliant. Okay, show me what you're doing. And he mentioned Intiva Health, informational technology, video, and all that sort of stuff. That was his acronym. But anyway, he showed me what he's got, and I said, this is unbelievable. This is incredible. What you're doing, helping others. So what I did, didn't take long, I founded his organization. We created a business for him. a commission, Then next thing you know, he's in business. The nice part about it is he was helping others, and he was helping people in the medical industry. Well, I'm going to make this a long story short. It took about 3 or 4 years ago, and Tiva Health was selected as the #1 organization in the world supporting the medical industry. Unbelievable. And this month, in April, or maybe middle of May, my wife Ann and I, we go over to Arizona, one of the states here in the United States, and Ann and I will help raise the flag on the 3rd manufacturing plant for all the things that hospitals and doctors and nurses and everybody in the industry need. And the new plant that we're putting together is only 5 times larger than the previous 2 plants put together. And it's just unbelievable, incredible, exponential growth. And it goes on and on. And to think up, wake up in the morning, my wife and I say, oh, I wonder how many lives we saved today. Because people are not suffering, they're not dying, and they're enjoying their lives with the Intiva Health program. And this, I mentioned Jim Kyle, and there are other opportunities because, as an example, whenever I meet a medical doctor or a medical professional, I ask them, are you familiar with Intiva Health? And they all tell me, well, I heard about it. I said, please visit and see what they have on their site. And usually a couple, 3 days later, I get a call and they said, hey, Len, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? Because they're all enthused because it's their better way to help make it a better world for people who are suffering from whatever problem they have medically. So that's one of the things we've done. And to be part of that just tugs at the heartstrings to know that we're saving lives. So you ought to do that. Get over there and visit it because there's so many other things that we have for you. But that's the one that I'm very proud of, obviously. And for those of you who are really serious,
voice messages and 9 saved messages.
For those of you who are really serious, I mentioned Jim Kyle's name. For those who have available, write this down. It's a phone number. He's now the vice president of Intiva Health, but you can contact him through a telephone, and write it on down. It's 727 265 7007. And when you contact him, whatever the needs are, and he's got all the information and the attachments and places to visit on the sites that will help you, your individuals, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, or your charity. And he said, here they are. Because every day we get new expansions. New people are saying, look at this, what we're doing to solve the problems. The people don't have to suffer and ache and no pains. It's magic. And why not? Because if you don't get something like this, how long do you have to wait to get something that is bothering you for years? Anyway, this is a very positive thing. And we just love for you to be a part of the program. So many good things to that. And Intiva Health is one of the big ones. And we got so many other items. We've got an organization that's called Hope for You. And Hope for You is a wonderful program. It came about with a gentleman by the name of Joel Griffin. Now, Joel was a brilliant man, graduate of Penn State, out of the state of Pennsylvania. Brilliant. And he was so bright and effective that he became the senior advisor of 3 of the presidents of the United States. Not 1, not 2, but 3 took him on as the senior advisor to the president. Wow. Well, wonderful man that he was. And years later, when I was doing this Golden Rule Society charity work, and I received a phone call from him. And he said, Len, I've been following what you're doing with the Golden Rule Society charity. I said, well, I'm honored. And he told me who he was. And I said, well, what can I do for you? He says, I'd like to be a volunteer as a senior advisor in the Golden Rule Society charity. And it took me about, maybe a second and a half to say, welcome aboard. And he is one of the individuals that founded this organization called Hope Collection. Hope for you. And sadly, just a few years ago, cancer got him, and the good Lord called him home, so he's gone. But Mr. Ron Clayton, who's also one of our senior advisors, was the vice president. So he's now the president of Hope Collection, and he may, hopefully that his time will allow, but he should be on the show today. And I'll ask him to say a few words. But he is running this program, and this is the reason why you have someplace where you can listen and you can share this opportunity for other people to listen to the show. We do this show 5 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've been invited, and I'm honored and humbled to be the keynote speaker on Fridays, because we're telling you all the wonderful things that we're doing to help you. That's the focus, to help you make it for you and yours, success for you, educational, motivational, inspirational, character building guidance for all. And when you go to our website, you look at all the things that are available and you say, hey, look at this, hope for you. And you have all these opportunities to take advantage of the inspirational character building guidance. And the things you click on is success for you. Marvelous. We've got another one that I just think is absolutely incredible. And we call it the Kindness Campaign. And this was established by one of our senior advisors. Her name is Mary Stanley. And she is just a brilliant lady. She served in the military, and when she retired from that, we put together, we found out what we each are doing, and she is a super duper senior advisor. And she has 2 children, wonderful children, a young boy and a young girl. And her daughter came home from school one day. She's very familiar to the Golden Rule Society's worldwide kindness campaign. And she said, hey, Mommy, why don't we have a kindness club in each of our classrooms? What an incredible idea. And Mary Stanley and I discussed that, and I said, wow, why didn't I think of it? So here's our goal at the moment. We want to have a kindness club in every classroom of every city, in every state in the United States, and we might as well make it anywhere in the world. The Kindness Club does not interfere with what any of the teachers are trying to do. It's just that the children themselves, instead of being fighting with the others, arguing and all that sort of stuff, they're working together, simply living the golden rule, treating each other. They want to be treated truthfully, with dignity and respect. Kindness is the secret. And my mother said that to me when I graduated high school and I was going off to the Navy. She said, Len, remember this, and you don't need to write this down. But she told me as I was ready to go, I had my bag packed. She said, Lenny, remember this, wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind. Now, those two words are in my heart, in my soul, in my mind, and I live it on a day to day basis. And why not? Because life is wonderful when you're doing that. When you're smiling, when you're kind to somebody and you say hello to them, oh, at least give it a smile to go with it. That's just courtesy and kindness, by golly. And that's what we're doing. And there's much more. And I've been talking for, almost 20 minutes now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Mary, and I'm going
Hi,
to
Len.
take a sip of my coffee. So, Ron Clayton, if you're with us, jump
Good
on.
afternoon, Len Kaine.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. And
Well,
I'm ready to go. Let me know. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I was listening in. I got here a little bit late, but Mary, certainly our extraordinary coordinator for our communications for the Hope Collection, the Golden Rule Society, and the um, neurodiverse organization that she heads up, helping and changing the world of neurodiversity for children, helping children live lives in great success and achievement and recognition. And Mary is that consultant that she works on a day, every day, 24/7, basically. But she's been operating and helping our organizations to flourish in transition time. Initially, we went through COVID and we went through the transitions of everything going there. And then we lost Joel, our founder of our organization. And as we move forward in the transition of board members, we've moved forward to the point where we are now, our shows that Len referred to, including today's, run 5 days a week at noon. And we invite people to join us on Pod Beam, such a live show that you can come in and get registered with. When you go to Podbeam and then get registered and sign in, we are Optimize Your Life registered as a show, and then you could be here, and we'd love to have you. And so we can get connected. Vic's going to have our new website, our presence. Will be, I think it's Facebook that we're going to be organizing. She'll jump in here, but we're going to have new access for you to be able to communicate and get more benefits from both our organizations. I am most proud to call Len Kaine our friend and business partner. And one of the great things that's happening next week, a number of us across the country, around the world, are getting on a cruise ship, Carnival Freedom, out of Cape Canaveral. We're going to be leaving to go to Turks and Caicos out of Freedom Ship Carnival to Turks and Caicos, and we're going to hang out with Len. And I was just talking with the folks at Carnival Cruise, and we're having special events to recognize. So shipwide, having Len Kaine being recognized for this cruise. So Captain Len, we're just so excited because we get a chance to brag on you one more time. You've been so effective as a leader. I just think of, I never knew in my life, I used to love, we live near Niagara Falls and we have an Air Force base. So we used to do rides, our Sunday afternoon rides as a family. We used to go up there to watch the planes take off. And a dream, flying was always a dream. Of course, as I grew into an adult, I got to fly on commercial flights. But I do remember one exciting event. I did not get on it, but a Navy blimp came to Buffalo and they landed at the airport and got to explore that, and that was exciting. But now, being with you, I've had the opportunity to literally live the thoughts and the dream of flying speed of sound. And picturing, you did it 6 times in one couple days, and you've been recognized worldwide for your efforts as a champion, as a leader, as an instructor, not just in the Navy, but you also did it in commercial flights. When you got out, the commercial airlines recognize the leader and winner that you are. But just picture this, folks. Here's a guy that knew how to take a plane, multi. I think they cost $14 billion now. They were still expensive when he flew, and he moving these planes at speed of sound, and then he'd have 6 other planes around them in formation, 12 inches between the ends of the tips of the wings on the plane, and they'd be flying at speed of sound, and he'd be leading that group into actions and different um, and shows they did. And then later on they became the Blue Angels, and one of the groups, and he was part of running them, and in Europe led the organizations there. Guys, we have such a privilege every day, every Friday when he comes on the show to meet him, greet him, and find out more about what being a Navy pilot was like. More importantly, today, having founded the Golden Rule Society, 5-time nomination to the Nobel Peace Prize for his work helping families and children in schools, churches. And he has since now helped us in the Hope Collection and the Golden Rule Society to bring to every one of you listening programs and treatments and health issue project solutions. And then with his work with the Kindness Campaign, and then with Mary Stanley's daughter, Ariana, we call her Princess, Len created the Kindness Club for Kids. And now Mary announced the other day that we have 1,000 schools that have started kindness clubs. Guys, we are making a difference in this world. And you can join us and be a part of it. We will have on the new website, we will have a place for you to register. In the meantime, you can go to goldenrulesociety.org, and you can register and join there and become part of our family. It's free, but you can get all the benefits that we put out for you to take advantage of. If I sound excited, I am. I just got a chance to review with Carnival Cruise. I just reviewed Len Kaine's bio, with the director of events at the home office of Carnival Cruise. And so we're forwarding all the paperwork, including that, so that when he gets on board the ship, we're going to roll out the red carpet. So, guys, hello. We hope you can join us here going forward, and we hope we can make your life better. Go ahead, Mary, you want to step in a couple moments and share some of the Kindness Club stuff?
Sure. Before I do that, though, we have a caller who wants. So I'm opening up the lines for anyone who has any questions, comments, or anything in between.
Wow. Well, Ron Clayton and Mary Stanley, two senior advisors to the Golden Rule Society charity. Wonderful people. You can imagine all that sort of stuff. And Mr. Ron Clayton, I mentioned the founder of the organization is Joel Griffin, but Mr. Ron Clayton, you heard speaking, wonderful speaker and wonderful production man, helping to make it a better world. He's now in charge of the organization, and right along with doing the great stuff with Mary Stanley, they are super duper, and we are just so proud to be associated with them on the show on a day-to-day basis. And the daughters, and just at the thought about, can you imagine 1,000 schools? And we're going to keep going through all the schools throughout the entire country, because why not? Because it helps make it a better world for everybody, and doesn't cost anything. That's the beauty of it. Just helping to make it a better world. What a dedication. Thank you very much, Ron Clayton, and your lovely bride, Linda, two super duper workers, along with Mary Stanley and her two children and her husband. This is the nice part about working together, and it makes it fun. And people, jokingly we say, Len, how much time do you spend with this charity? And I always tell everybody, jokingly, I said, I only do it 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, but I get the rest of the time off. I know that's silly, but that feels like what we spend. We're just every opportunity, if we can help somebody and to receive and be recognized for it. But one other thing, I just looking at notes here, I received the Worldwide Humanitarian Award in 2022. That sounds like I'm bragging because I don't want to be doing that, but I want to tell you about how we can do what's good for you. And let me tell you another thing. I hope you got your paper and pen handy. One of the things that you'll find on the website is what they call the program. It's the prescription discount program. This is in the United States now, but it's not advertised. And one day, my doctor gave me a prescription, and I went to the drugstore where I usually go to, and I'd heard about this discount program. And I asked him, "Are you part of the prescription discount program?" And the druggist that I knew very well, he looked around, nobody was watching. He said, "Len, we are not part of that program, but across the street, and 2 blocks down, that drugstore, they are part of the prescription discount program." I thanked him very much. And the next time I needed a prescription, I went to that drugstore. And the savings, they vary, but the highest they are go up to 80% discount. I've never seen an 80% discount, but that's way of it. So when you go to the drugstore, simply ask if they are a member of the discount program. And if you can save yourself some money, it's worthwhile that you're listening to this radio show or you're sharing it with your family, friends, and neighbors, churches, and charities. Tell everybody about it. It's absolutely great. And we have another program that I'm particularly proud of, and we're redoing it because updating it. So if you visit the website, it might not be finalized. But when I communicate with people, it's one thing to send a telephone call or you could send an email. But what I like are video email. And I usually send a video email, maybe it's in 1 minute, 2 minutes at the most. And I talk to people and they look, they see my smile, they see my face, they see my personality, all that. And it comes through rather than having of reading a couple of pages of printing to try to get the message. But they get it and they say, "Oh, well, hey, that's really nice. That's understandable." It's just like being in the same room with them, talking to them. So look into your video emails and sign up if you like. If you want, it's your choice. It's not something we're just forcing on you. It's just telling you that it's available. Because I told you about the Wise Traveler program. Now, savings, why not? The Wise Traveler. You just sign up and they try to give you the best discounts on the airlines. Oh, gosh, it goes on and on. And we have a program that I'm rather kind of pleased and proud of right now because we're a charity sharing the world. And here it is. When I welcome people to the Golden Rule Society, where most everything is free and many things are better than free. And again, here's our goal for all these years, and I'll say it again and again. We're simply making it a better world. It's as simple as that. And again, we don't get paid, and donations that we get are shared with the needy. And here's the newest entertainment program. It's called 198 Super Things to Think, Say, and Do, which was enjoyable and fun. And here's the one that we got today, because every day is different. I tell people about them. Here it is. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. So pray on that. How to get ahead? Get started. You got something that you want to be doing or should be doing? Hey, don't be just thinking about it. Give it a go. And God bless. But that's what we're doing. And it's not just 198, hundreds of super things to think, say, and do. Why not? If you can make yourself more successful in life, give it a shot because that's what we're all trying to do. Uh, Giving people empowerment for all these many, many years. And the Intiva Health Program, we talked about that. And we talked about the video emails that are available to you. I mentioned to you the prescription discount program. And it just goes on and on, all available that we have. And why not? Take advantage of all that we have to go. And it goes on and on. So share it with your family, your friends, here, there, and everywhere. Because so many gifts for you. We told you about the success for you, the Intiva Health Program, the hope for you, helping the needy. We mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize nominations. And I received 5 of those nominations, but in 2014, they told me I was number 2 in the world. Wow, that's kind of nice. But the point is, it's nice to be recognized, but that's not why we're here because we don't get paid. The simple goal is helping to make it a better world. And I want you to join the team. And I'm going to take a time for another sip of my coffee, turn it back over to Ron if you're ready with some of your magic, Ron. Jump on in, please.
Well, we're here, Len. We're going to go back to Intiva Health, this magnificent company that has several divisions. One of them, around the world, doctors and nurses and people get educated in the medical field at universities. Well, when they get their certificate of doing the study, that doesn't give them a license to practice. They have to get a license. Well, to go through that process in any country or state, many times it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Intiva Health is the number one supplier, and they've found a program that allows people to get certified, and they streamline it, and they're like dynamic in it, and so they've been recognized for doing that kind of accomplishment. That's one division. Another division, they have a division that is of healthcare. Like, you've got your different local companies that are healthcare groups, and you can go to, and they have doctors and specialists and all that. Well, they have that, and they're in Houston, Texas. They also have a division of health specialty testing. And the one test that I think is phenomenal, and it's cutting edge, it's genetic. They use a swab test, and then you send it in to them, and they're able to distinguish what medicines that your body could take or would be bad for you. And you file this, and there are insurance companies covering this. If not, it's $200 to do this testing, but you get a binder back that you give to your primary physician, and they know what medicines. And if you're older, you're getting more and more medicines every time you go to doctors. Before they give you the medicine that might kill you, that says right in this manual, don't give you the medicine with whatever it is. And you can have that to give to any surgeon or medical people that you're going to have reviewed. It's preventative medicine. It's either free or $200, and that's through Intiva Health. And I know a case where my sister was allergic to some anesthetics. They were able to save her. She got really sick one time, and she's got MS and other issues. And they had to send her in. Well, because of her having the testing, they were able to prevent her from maybe harming her terribly. So, guys, here's a great program. It's called Intiva Health, Houston, Texas. Their credibility is unbelievable. Now in the world, everybody on TV sees commercials of gummy bear, vitamins, food supplement, the Big Lily, and all the big pharmaceutical companies are using something called gummy bear technology for their medicines. And you can get pills that you can't swallow, or you can get gummy bears of the same prescription. Well, the supplier of that material, organic, pharmaceutical grade material for these companies to build and make their medicines, is Antiva Health. They have the largest manufacturing facilities, IES, in the world, in America. They're opening a brand new one shortly. I was talking to the vice president of the company yesterday, and they're going to be opening up a brand new plant. And guess who they're going to have to help dedicate that plant? Yes, our very own Captain Len Kaine, his wife Ann, are dedicating the ribbon cutting of that plant in Phoenix, and they're doing that when he gets back from his cruise. And by the way, that vice president of Antiva Health is going to be on the cruise, saluting Captain Len Kaine, him and his wife Bonnie, Jim Kyle. So we're excited about these things. Antiva Health. You think of it, they're talking about all these companies that produce materials in China. Well, Antiva Health doesn't. They're American, USA made. And so we're proud to have a success story that is part of, and they support us, we support, and Len's on the board of the Antiva Health company today. So Jim Kyle, the vice president, he's on the board of advisors for the Golden Rule
Hello.
Society. And my wife and I know he and his wife, and we're all going to be together on a cruise next week. So, guys, great things are happening here at Hope and the Golden Rule Society. We hope you take advantage of all the different things that we offer. And there's more. You just have to look into what we have to offer.
Awesome. Mr. Ron Clayton, you are something special. And I want
Hey,
to remind people, I mentioned it more than once, our Golden Rule Societies, it's a worldwide kindness campaign. And I want to read it to you because it's very simple, very powerful. And again, here's how it goes. With kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world, treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And when you do, you're sharing the love that your God gives you with others. And when you do it with a smile. Simple and powerful. And you can share that with everybody and anybody. And you should, because we want to get it into every classroom, in every school, in every state, of every country. And by the way, uh, we've been having some very good communications with our current president, President Donald Trump of the United States. He is a wonderful, powerful man that is helping to make it a better country, making America great again, but helping to make it a better world. Not just one of them, he's helping everybody. And what we want to do is to do the kindness campaign, Golden Rule Society, and simply make it a worldwide kindness campaign for everybody. And we can sort of Americanize it from the President of the United States, saying the same thing with kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world. Treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And you're simply, again, sharing the love that your God gives you with others. And when you do it with a smile. That's why we're here. And Mary, I hope you have another few words to go because I'm running out of ideas. Not ideas, but things to say. Mary, would you have something for
yes,
us?
sir. I would like to open up the lines for anyone who has anything to comment on, ask questions, or say. All right. If not, so our new home for Optimize My Life is on the Skylar Network. A Skylar Network is like Facebook or LinkedIn. It is a new social media profile or a platform with a business profile platform with a social media twist. And so the one great part of the Skylar Network is that you own your communities. So if you say something that someone doesn't agree with, that's okay, as long as it's morally, ethically, and legally fine. And so we are adding some new concepts to the show. And so since we're only an audio show, we are adding in once a month. Each show that we have on our network is going to do a behind the scenes. So we're going to host meet the hosts on the Skylar platform, where you can join us there and ask questions, learn about each particular host and about different shows. And also, you can view all of our recordings and all of our other stuff on there and get to know everybody on a personal level.
Wow, this is great, Mary. We are so grateful for all the work and the study and the research that you've done to make this possible. Thank you.
Mary Stanley, you're a magician. You're dedicated to help making a better world. Simple as that. Doing the work of the Lord with a beautiful family, a young daughter, a young son, and a good husband. What a team. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all working together. Simple as that. And we want you to keep doing it because it's living the golden rule. Why not? It makes so much sense. It got my attention years ago, and I said, what did I want to do to help make a charity? People ask, how did you get started with this? And I tell the story about I flew for the Navy for 26 and a half years as a fighter pilot, and I retired. And wouldn't you know, an airline right here in the San Diego area, and the the airline, PSA, Pacific Southwest Airlines, they contacted me on. They said, "Hey, Len, we'd like to hire you. Come on board, be one of our instructors and one of our airline captains." And I thought about that. Flying airplanes that's a lot of fun. So I said, "Yeah, I'd like to give it a shot." So off I went, working for PSA, and it was totally enjoyable, lighthearted, carrying people up and down the west coast of the United States. And one Christmas, I ended up with 2 electric shavers at Christmas time. One was for my wife, Ann, and the other one was from her mother back in Pennsylvania. So I asked my fighter pilot buddies and my airline captain buddies, and I said, what am I going to do with 2 electric shavers? And they all told me the same. They said, Len, you shave your face with one and you shave your legs with the other one, of course. What would you expect from fly guys? But anyway, so I was on the airplane one day with the people, and it was a lighthearted airline. That thing was pleasant. As a matter of fact, we were going along, and I thought, ladies and gentlemen, I got a deal for you. It's going to be, we're going to do it. I've got this electric shaver. It's worth $25. It's never been used, brand new. And here's the deal. I'm going to swap it with anybody in the back for something of greater value. And we're going to do this on paper. We're not going to hand it back and forth. But I'm going to keep swapping and trying to get something, keep improving the value of the swaps that I make. And everybody thought, well, that's kind of funny. And I said, because eventually I want to get a nice gift thing that we're going to offer to the charities in our local San Diego area that they can hold,
not understand.
can make donations, and the winner will get the winner of the magic product and the gifts. Well, my chief pilot heard about it, and he said, we called him. He said, "What are you doing? You can't be doing this sort of thing." Blah, 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 blah. I said, "Well, I'm sorry, and forgive me. I didn't ask any permission." He says, "I'm going to talk to the owner of the business." He did, and the owner called me on the phone and said, "Well, that's fantastic. Way to go. Keep it up. It's a lot of fun." Anyway, long story short, that $25 razor, electric razor, we ended up with a whole bunch of products, things that we offered to the charities, churches, and whoever in the San Diego area, and they all held, where people could buy tickets to see who wins. Long story short, again, we raised almost $1 million, for that $25 razor. But it meant to everybody. And I have a good buddy at the time. He was an attorney, but we were golfing buddies. And I told him the story, and he said, "Len, that sounds great, but here's the deal. We got to make you a charity because everybody says $1 million, and how much money did Len Kaine get? Obviously, the answer was zero. But he says, but people want to know why. So we formed the Golden Rule Society as a charity nationwide, and it's in California as well. And when people want to say, hey, what are you doing with the money? Here it is. It's all reported to the state and to the country. Oh, okay. It's legitimate, legal, ethical, all that. So we did it just for protection and the right thing to do. So anyway, it goes on, and we keep going. And again, we're all non-paid. For those of you who are listening, you got to know that when you visit our website and take advantage of the opportunities and you share with your family, friends, neighbors, churches, and charities, you're doing everybody a favor because you're doing yourself a favor. You're taking care of your own stuff, and you're taking care of the stuff that are affiliated with your church and charity and whoever. Why not give it a go? You've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. That is a wonderful opportunity. And it's getting on. We're getting close to quitting time. And if we have anybody that has anything to ask or anything they would like to add, questions or statements, you're here to do it. So I'll stand by and wait. And whenever it is, Ron and Linda, Lauren, Wendy, and Mary, I'll turn it back over to you to put a nice cap on the top of the show. Please and thank you.
Well, thank you, Len. You're just so super. I know Mary's asked anybody that we really are an open forum, and if you had called in before or you want to try before we just finish up the show, it would be a neat way for someone new to just say hello and call in, or maybe you're old and you just haven't been on the new show. We used to broadcast this program on blog radio until it went away, and the founder passed away about 5 years ago, and it just the organization just has kind of deteriorated. So we had to go to a new company, and that's what Mary has helped us establish. I can't wait to unveil all the things, and hopefully everybody listening will join in, and or else you'll be with us next week. Do you have anything you'd like to say today before we wrap up and looking at a good weekend coming up?
I have a couple things to add before we go. Join us tonight at 9:30 Eastern. It is another episode of Cracking the Spectrum, and what we're talking about is neurodiversity and autism. and special needs. And it's my perspective as a professional and one on the spectrum, but also with my kids. But we also have a dad that's a co-host with me. And so you get that male perspective.
Oh, that sounds great, Mary. You are something special. I keep saying it because it's true. Wow. Well, if that's the show, we can just say
Thank you.
God
Thank you.
bless. Take good care. Thank you all. And back over to you to turn it off, Mary and Ron. Wonderful being with you as always. Bye bye for now, folks.
Bye bye.
Have a good day. Have a good night. And I put the link for the show tonight in the chat. And join us on the Skylar Network. Have a good, and we'll see you back here next Friday at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Bye for now.
God bless. Thank you kindly.